Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Gemini and Sagittarius on Wednesdays. So the deck that I'm using today is called the Spirit Within Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting a personal reading, my information is in the description below. Also, just as a heads up, sometimes the cards like to flip over in the deck. I do see them. However, I usually only take cards that jump out like these ones have. And usually if they jump out in groups, they're too big. I'll go ahead and put them back and continue shuffling. But my goal here is to get you guys roughly 8 or 9 cards, and then we can get started on your reading. So I'm just going to try to pull out 2 more cards for you guys, and then we can get started. All right, Sagittarius. So I just do want to remind you guys really fast that in case you enjoy the reading, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. But your overall energy here is the Nine of Swords. Now, the Nine of Swords is, kind of a negative energy to be in because it talks about anxiety and stress. So I'm thinking that right now you guys are very anxious about a certain situation that's making things difficult for you, and sort of a negative effect of having sort of the Nine of Swords energy is not being able to sleep at night. So I think that a lot of you guys are having some issues or difficulty sleeping. So certainly if that's you, try your best to get as much sleep as you need, because if you don't have that well-rested energy at the beginning of the day, you're really going to struggle throughout the day. And I feel like at this point, that's the last thing that you want. But either way, I don't see this energy lasting very long because I see sort of this mix of positive and negative energy here. And I don't think that's a coincidence because I also see the Justice card here, which talks about balance. So I think that right now you guys are really having a hard time of it, but at the same time, you're also going to see a lot of happiness come in, and if not, it's right around the corner. So for one, we have the Ace of Swords with the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is a message, right? And it's a message of emotions. So that could be anything from an apology or a romantic offer, or even just like a heartfelt message that you receive. So I'm getting that for some of you guys, you're really going to receive some kind of recognition here. I'm hearing work, romantic life, studies, anywhere where you are consistently dealing with other people, somebody is going to recognize you and say, hey, thanks for everything that you do, right? And I feel like for right now, you guys could even be in a very difficult position where you don't really feel like you're leaving a huge impact on a whole lot of people. But let me tell you that with this Ace of Swords and this Nine of Cups, like, you are leaving such a big impact on everyone else around you. They all see you and they all admire you and they all want to be you, right? So with this sort of next column here, the Ten of Wands with the Page of Cups, the Page of Cups is a little bit more of the same when it comes to the Knight of Cups, right? So this is a message of emotional, how should I say, this is like an emotional response, right? So I think that right now things are going to be very emotional, right? You're going to be really in touch with everything that is going on in your inner world. I think that you guys, being a fire sign, sort of that masculine polarity, you guys have been really active and really go, go, go right now. And a common thread of energy that I've been seeing in the readings this week is the Hermit energy, which is introspection. So I'm guessing that you guys are sort of dabbling into your inner world as well, right? So look that these two, Knight and the Page look like they're communicating to each other because they're looking at each other. So it feels like what you are receiving, you're giving back. People are saying, hey, I care about you, you know, you mean a lot to me. And then you're saying, hey, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate that everything that you do for me too, right? And it's just a nice exchange here. And I think that right now this is so important because I see this Ten of Wands. I think that you or other people around you might not feel entirely validated for all the work that you do, right? And I keep saying the word work, so that brings to mind sort of like career or occupation, but it's not just limited to that. For some of you, it might be in your relationship, in your family, in your community, right? For some of you, this might be like you go to church and someone says, hey, thanks for like pushing your chair in or whatever. Like you didn't really have to do that, but it's something nice that you did and we appreciate it, right? And like, I'm looking at this Ten of Wands, and I think just now is a really stressful time for you and everyone else in your life. You're in this nine of Swords energy, and I wouldn't be too surprised if a lot of the people around you are sort of mirroring the same level of stress. So I think that really taking the time to give someone a nice little message like, hey, thanks, is going to mean the world to a lot of people, especially since I see this Three of Swords, right? The Three of Swords is sort of heartbroken energy. So I think that for a lot of you guys, if I were to take this energy and put it like on a scale, I would say there's like a 30% chance that this is you and maybe like a 70% chance that this is someone else around you. So I'm thinking that for the majority of you guys, you're dealing with somebody who is like a friend close to you who's a little bit heartbroken. I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're dealing with somebody who is recently broken up, or you're the person who's recently broken up, but you know, that's very painful. And like, if you look at these Three Swords, they're not evenly spaced out. There's one over here and two over there, and this person's looking at these two. So it really feels like to me that somebody in your sort of close proximity has been in a third-party situation, and those can be very painful, right? Cheating, lying, all those things are very painful scenarios that really hurt people. So, you know, be a little bit understanding if somebody lashes out at you. Obviously, don't let people disrespect you, but also, like, understand that if there's a sudden change of attitude or behavior in a person, like, there could be a reason for it. There could be an underlying cause, and, you know, some people just respond like that sometimes. So maybe instead of, you know, lashing out back at them, you can like handle the situation in a way. I'm not saying to like put everything on you, because that's unfair, and we don't want that, because we have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is energy of feeling like everything's a burden on you, and then we have the Justice, so we want equality. I just think that it would be nice. I think it'd be a good approach to say, hey, that's not cool. Like, you can't talk to me that way. Like, is there something, are you okay? Is there something wrong? And then maybe they can be like, oh, sorry, well, just like I have this stuff on my mind, personal problems, whatever, right? And maybe there's a little bit more to the situation than you initially thought, right? And the reason I say that is because I see this Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords is very mental, right? And that's everything that has to do with communication. So there's always the worry of people that are very swords based, that they are unevolved or underdeveloped in the emotional realm. So everything that has to do with emotions and inner world, like I was talking about earlier here, is sort of dumb to this person, right? It's like, oh, well, who needs them? Who needs those emotions? And they can be very condescending in that regard. So because this person is hurt, I see this connection here where it's like, oh, well, like they're lashing out and being emotionally immature to you and the people around you. And I feel like that's just a response. And I also wanted to mention that the Page is far more immature than the Knight, than even the Knight, and especially the King and the Queen. So be aware that other people around you might be a little bit immature emotionally right now and sort of very egocentric. And if this is you, like, there's no shame in admitting it and recognizing it. Just like try to do better. And I'm not saying that in a condescending way or in a mean way or anything. Like, I just genuinely see that for some people, you might be going through a rough time of it, and that elicits responses in us that sometimes we would wish were different responses. But either way, at the end of the day, through all this confusion and possible arguments, I see the Justice card and I see the Two of Cups. So I see two different scenarios. For those of you who are like in a relationship and this has like this energy has nothing to do with your partner, I see you just at the end of the day, like for example, if this is a work issue, I see you at the end of the day just saying, you know what, like I'm gonna get what I deserve, you get what you deserve, and then everything's settled, and then you just walk off because you have what you have and they don't have what you have because they haven't worked for it. And then you come back home to your loving spouse and you have a nice romantic evening, lots of food, lots of wine, and fun. And then the other scenario is that if this issues where you feel like everything's a burden and there's sort of this heartbreak and there's this a sort of immature acting towards each other, at the end of the day, you guys are going to realize that, you do have this love, you do have this soulmate, because that's what the Two of Cups is. It's the soulmate card. So you're going to see the justice and you're going to see the fairness, right? This Ten of Wands, instead of being all on one person, is going to be divided among the two. And it's sort of going to take place over this conversation here where it's very emotional and not in a bad way, just that people are being upfront and honest instead of passive aggressive or even lying about how they feel. And either way, I see this energy of the Nine of Cups, the Nine of Swords, where you're stressed and you're staying up at night, for lack of a better word, putting it to bed. And I especially see that with this ending here, you guys are going to be happy in the end, regardless of what this is, regardless of the people that are in your life that are just being annoying, or even just like trying to purposefully hurt you, because I also see this Page of Swords as a way of them trying to hurt you through their words. But either way, it's not going to affect you and you're going to come out on top. But that was your reading for this time around, Sagittarius. If you enjoyed, please leave a like or a comment because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Sagittarius videos on Wednesdays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.